This is a video that is very long overdue. Welcome to the GTP. My name is Scott, where we talk all things manga, and this video is a little different as I want to discuss the idea, do I want to keep collecting manga? Especially with all the manga I currently have. It's not a video saying should I even have manga, but really want to discuss with you just some time of reflection as well as with the community on should I keep going at the pace I am? Should I slow down? Should we stop buying altogether and instead maybe just focus on quite a bit of this backlog? This video is sponsored by Tokyo Treats and Sakurako. Let's go ahead and open June's Tokyo Treat box together and find out what's inside. Tokyo Treat and Sakurako has a goal where they would love everyone to experience Japan from the comfort of your own home through these snack boxes. Okay, check this out. This is actually a mini peach tart little pie. Such adorable box. And inside is just a delicious infused treat. Tokyo Treat is a monthly pop Japanese snack box where you can get up to 20 of exclusive, limited edition, and seasonal flavored Japanese snacks, including Japanese instant ramen and drinks that are only available in Japan for a limited time. I was pleasantly surprised how much I enjoy these umami squid chip. Tokyo Treat's theme is Tokyo Snacktaction. Tokyo Treat invites you to journey through Japan's exciting and colorful capital city, Tokyo, which are also Tokyo Treat's hometown. This month's Tokyo Treat box is packed with delicious sweet and savory snacks inspired by this famous city. And to top it all off, we have a cute and savory mochi, and I always appreciate actually having rice paper around this. I don't know why we don't have more treats with edible rice paper, where typically in America we have to peel it off, but with this we can just go ahead and take a bite. Let's now go ahead and open up Sakurako's June box to find out what is waiting inside for each of us. I always love that each Sakurako box comes with a special blend of tea, and this one is just as fantastic as it is a caffeine-free herbal tea blend. Sakurako is a monthly Japanese artisan snack box that supports local Japanese snack makers. Each box comes with 20 traditional, authentic, and artisan Japanese snacks, including Japanese teas and a special Japanese tableware. I was pleasantly surprised to see a Belgian waffle cake inside of this month's box. And it is, so good. Sakurako's theme, Traditions of Tokyo. Tokyo isn't just a modern metropolis. It has a rich history that stretches back centuries. That's why this month Sakurako invites you to step back in the time of Tokyo's Edo period and immerse yourself in its timeless charm of traditional Tokyo by savoring authentic flavors from the city. And these arare is twisted and perfectly delicious. And if you use my promo code GEEKS, you can actually get $5 off your first box. And what I love about these Japanese snacks is not only are we enjoying them from the comfort of our own homes, but it has become a family thing together. They love being able to taste all the different treats together, us discussing our favorite things. I mean, look at this from Tokyo Treat. This is an Eevee. We got a Pokemon marshmallow chocolate delish. Our kids were ecstatic. In your family itself, it has a great conversation around the table as you're trying something from Japan itself. It's a dream someday for our family to check out Japan together, and these snack boxes help us just feel like we're one step closer to that dream itself right in our own home. You might be asking yourself what prompted this, and it actually had to deal with this past month's haul, where not only did I get a lot of volumes of manga, but I actually got quite a bit of things I've been wanting to read from a previous Crunchyroll order that was almost 4 months backed up. I had items that I wanted to read all the way from November that I pre-ordered, and I finally got that order in. There will be a different video explaining what happened with that order and how I finally got everything from Crunchyroll. But this video alone, I want to discuss the impact that made when I finally got all those volumes. As you see here, I had such a massive stack of to be read lists, and it might be pressure I just put on myself of feeling like I need to get through this stack before I do my haul video. That was another reason why the video haul was late, was I felt this pressure, at least I'm personally putting on myself here, is I need to read everything that I'm currently reading so that when I do the haul video, I can share with you my thoughts on that manga. What did I think of that new volume I read? Not just a generalized statement about that manga. As well as you've noticed in past videos, I'll show you things that I haven't even read, but I'm still ongoing the series, and I started thinking, what am I doing? Why do I keep doing this? So another reflection thing I want to say is before, we'll actually have two parts of the video. First is we'll discuss, how did we get here? And then I want to go ahead and to talk about what are we going to do in the future. And I'd love to hear in the comments below, what are your thoughts about the future as well? And maybe I'm off on some of this. I do want to share, if you've noticed some of my previous haul videos, I actually had some smaller hauls. And actually December was my smallest haul of only 10 volumes. So typically what happens is when I finish my to be read list, I'll go ahead and I'll grab something from my backlog back here and I'll go ahead and read that. So during that time where I didn't have as much, I end up reading all of JoJo Bizarre Adventures Part 3. Yes, I still have Part 4. Yes, I also have Part 5 complete. No, I have not read those. And of course, we're ongoing with Part 6, but I've read 1 and 2 and now fully 3. As well as I had a grail where one that I was like, hey, I really need to read this series. There's so many things that I've heard about this. I felt bad I never got to it. But as I'm struggling here, I ended up reading as well, and hope it doesn't fall I read all of Doro di Doro. I love Diadark, and I was like, man, I've been needing to get to this. Let's go and read. So I read all of Doro di Doro. And last, I caught up with reading all of Yakuza Fiancé. So 6, as you see, it's a little easier than Doro di Doro, but I ended up reading all this manga in my backlog and things I was missing. So let's go ahead and first talk about how did we get to here. And be honest, as I was trying to reflect through how did I get here, there's just a couple things that happened. And first was I started collecting manga like many of you during COVID. And if you remember during that time during COVID, it was extremely hard to find certain volumes. I would order an entire series and then it could be months or even a year before some of those missing volumes happened. That's why, like Doro di Doro, there were so many volumes that were just out of stock. So I got some of the volumes, but I couldn't read it right away because there are volumes that were missing in between. And I didn't just want to read a volume 1 and 2, and then who knows when, let's say, volume 3 was going to be reprinted. So that was part of it too. Even JoJo Bizarre Adventures had several volumes that were in between prints during that massive time during COVID. Now I was lucky, I got this on a Right Stuff Anime, the Christmas sale, so I got a phenomenal deal for it. This is even before they charged tax. But when I even ordered all of JoJo Bizarre Adventures that was available during that time, there were so many volumes that were just completely missing and not available. So that was the first reason I got to here is I ordered series, and a lot of the series I was waiting for missing volumes. And you've seen a lot of my hauls where I show you missing volumes are finally reprinted. And I'm still waiting. I still have some backlog here. Maggie. I have all of Maggie except for volume 10. That series, I ordered it almost 3 years ago, and it's just all the volumes are sitting in the, it feels like it's collecting dust. As I was waiting for several volumes to be reprinted, and finally volume 14 and 2 were reprinted, but for some reason 10 has not. So it's just sitting in behind the shelves here. Can't even see it, but that's a little embarrassing. So I got here from there, and as well as you remember, Viz Media announced they're going to increase their prices and move all manga up 20%. And there are so many series that I've been wanting to check out, and I knew if I don't get this now, it's going to get more expensive later on, and I didn't want that regret. So those are part of the 2 reasons why we got this massive backlog is the Viz Media price increase, as well as there's so many things, those in-between prints, and almost like a fear of missing out, probably a FOMO, is I didn't know when they're going to be reprinted. I mean, during COVID, you would see the One Piece 3 box set. That went so fast. I remember like hitting refresh, I ordered, I remember box set 2 I ordered, and then within an hour, it was completely sold out on Right Stuff Anime. And then it wasn't going to be another 6 months until it was available again. So because of that, I felt at the time, I was like, if I don't order this now, I don't know when I'm going to be able to read it again. So because of that, I'm obviously now One Piece is a little easier to get, but there's also that 20% increase, which I wouldn't want to get for a box set. So that's part of where we got here. And a third reason that kind of dealt with this as well, this is a struggle of mine, is the cult of the new and a fear of missing out on new things. So this reminded me a while ago, if you click the right hand corner, you can see that video where I talked about this cult of the new affecting manga, where I gave the analogy of like, you know, here's this new series, you know, Mission Family, and do I want to read this new shiny one that came out, or do I want to read this older series, Akira, which is actually phenomenal. And when I get new series, it's almost like I have an issue where I'm chasing the next best story. What's the next best story that's going to come out? Where the truth is, there's fantastic stories out here. They're probably, some of them are even better. I have Vagabond. I've never read Vagabond. I finally got all the volumes for Vagabond a while ago, and I haven't read it yet. And that's supposed to be one of the best series of all time. I have all Slam Dunk. I haven't read that yet. That's supposed to be one of the best sports manga of all time. And yet it's just sitting there, and I should be reading it and then even sharing my thoughts with you. But instead, I'm chasing the newest, shiniest thing and realizing that at the same time, it might not even be as shiny as some of these other classics we have in the back here. So that's a major issue that I have, is I'm constantly wanting to chase what's new and then tell you guys about these new series coming out. And as I'm getting excited, I want you to get excited. And this might be silly, but I remember when I first grabbed Blue Lock when that came out, it was just, it was new, it was amazing. I'm like, oh, this is so incredible. But at the same time, am I missing out on something on my backlog that is just as incredible? And when I start reading them, you're like, oh, why didn't I start that sooner? And at the same time, after reading Blue Lock, when these new series are coming out right now, like Steel Celestia, wow, that was an incredible first volume. I almost did not pick up that series with everything else I have going on, but I'm so glad I did. So there's that tension there of, hey, I want to read the new stuff, as well as I want to go through this backlog. So it really just reflected here when I knocked out Doro Di Doro, Yuzakura Fiance, and then JoJo Bizarre Avengers Part 3, I was like, huh. And then that feeling of pressure with all those volumes that were just sitting on my reading shelf, I was like, what should I do next? So that's how we got here. Let's go ahead and talk about what I believe, at least right now, going forward. So going forward, I think some of the best next steps I can take is, one is not to buy ongoing series where I haven't read the previous volumes. As you saw before, Shadow House is a series that I have picked up. I have all ongoing volumes, but it's an ongoing series I've not started reading yet, and that was because I just had so much also on that backlog. So that's one of the first major things I think we're going to do with this channel, as I just slow down a little bit, is and try to catch up, is not go ahead and purchase ongoing series for manga that I have not yet read. I mean, even looking at, you know, Yakuza Fiance, Yakuza, sorry, I'm probably butchering that, but why am I buying these volumes? My goal for this channel is to buy things and then read it so I can tell you, but I'm not even doing a good steward of that for you, and I apologize. I need to be a better person for you and help support you, and I'm not supporting you if I'm saying, yeah, I bought this but I haven't read it yet. So I'm really glad I did this. This is great. Definitely not for kids, but this was really good. And I know, like Shadow House, it's probably amazing, but I have not had that chance yet. So that's probably the first big thing I'm going to do here as series right now. There's not that fear of waiting for another reprint of it for the newer volumes like we had during the pandemic. So that's probably the biggest thing, and we're not seeing an increase in prices right now. So that's the first major step that I'm going to take. It's a little step because I do like collecting. I do love reading stories, and I don't want to stop the ones I'm currently doing. With that said, if you're like, Scott, what about if the series is almost complete? And you're right. Like Delicious in the Dungeon is almost complete. There's only one volume left. I'm going to go ahead and order that volume. So if the series is close to being finished, I'm going to go ahead and make sure I finish that series even if I haven't started it yet. So that's just where I'm sitting here. I don't know if this is helpful or not, but I thought it would be good to reflect as this manga is supposed to be a journey, and it's not necessarily healthy just chasing the next best story, especially when there's wonderful stories already here. This reminded me the other day, my son was asking for a new video game, and I said, well, how many of the video games you currently own have you finished? He's like, Dad, I have probably quite a bit I haven't finished yet. And I said, well, son, I think it would be wise that until you finish those ones you currently own, I don't necessarily want to just buy you a new video game. And I saw he's just like his dad. He's just chasing the next best thing. So I don't want to continue to do that. Just keep chasing the next best thing. So that's the first step I'll take. I think another one is easing up on new releases coming out and maybe not trying to be a little wiser on which ones I curate. The problem is I also have an issue where I seem like I love everything. So I need to be a little more wiser in that. It has been helpful that there are some series that are finishing up. Love is War just finished. I just got the last volume. You'll see that on my next haul. So that's helpful. Sometimes it's sad. I'm almost feeling a little relief. Like, oh, this is the last volume. I'm not going to have to go ahead and keep collecting and reading, and I can actually go through some of my stacks. So those are my thoughts just on collecting manga, and I'd really love it in the comments. Would you join me in the discussion? I'd love to know your thoughts on collecting. Are you a person that needs to read everything in their collection before you start a new series? How much of your backlog have you not read? Are you like me where you're like, actually, I keep buying things and I need to read what's in my backlog? I would love to be able to connect and just discuss like, hey, how can we do this better? How can we do this better together? And this might be a little embarrassing, but it's interesting. I was talking to someone on chat where they're saying, man, I'm really envious of how much manga you have. They're like, I have this many volumes and I've read everything. And in my mind, I'm like, man, I'm really envious that you've read everything. And so it was an interesting, back and forth where, some people are like, I don't have enough. Other people are like, I haven't read what I had. And that's just as embarrassing. So thank you so much for being a part of this community. I just wanted to give you just a little window and just be a bit vulnerable in my life and what I'm currently processing right now, and trying to even think through how I can be a better steward of your time and for this channel. And I gotta say, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being part of this community. If you'd like to see more content, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. That helps others know about this beautiful community that we've continued to build together. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.